Hey everyone, welcome back to Crime Stats Daily, and I'm Kim. How many murders go unsolved in America? Today, we're looking at one of the most disturbing questions within the criminal justice system. How many murderers are never caught? So, over the next 20 minutes, we'll examine how many murders go unsolved each year, which states have the highest number of unsolved murders, why homicide rates have declined, the challenges that investigators face, what solutions experts believe can make a difference, and finally, while there is still reason for hope. No hype, just facts, just data. So let's get started. So, according to the FBI statistics for 2023, there were 18,375 homicides reported in the United States. 58% were solved, while 42% remained unsolved. That means that 7,778 murders remained unsolved in a single year. That's more than 21 unsolved murders every single day. And unfortunately, this isn't a new problem. Researchers have estimated that America now has more than 250,000 unsolved murders that have accumulated over decades, and every year, thousands more are added to the list. So for families waiting for answers, the wait could be years and sometimes decades. But where are these unsolved murders concentrated? Based on decades of homicide data, these are the 5 states with the highest number of unsolved murders. California's with more than 48,000, Illinois with more than 23,000, Florida with more than 20,000, Texas with more than 18,000, and Michigan with more than 16,000 unsolved murder cases. Now, this is something important to note. A state having more unsolved murders does not necessarily mean it's worse at solving crime. Population size matters, total homicide matters. This list simply shows where the largest backlogs exist. So was it always this way? The answer is no. In the 1960s, police solved more than 90% of murders. Then the numbers began to decline, as you can see here in this graph. In 1980, it dropped to 72%. In the year 2000, 63%. 2020, 51%. And then slightly up in 2023 at 58%. And in 2024, the estimates show improvement, approximately 61%. So that's encouraging, but still well below historical levels, which raises an important question: why? Why is this happening? Let's take a look. Researchers have studied this issue on unsolved murders for decades. And while there isn't one single cause, several factors repeatedly appear in the data. First is lack of witnesses. Many murders occur with no witnesses. Second, lack of cooperation. Witnesses may fear retaliation, and others may distrust law enforcement. Third, there's complex homicide investigations. Shootings often happen very quickly. Suspects disappear. Evidence may be limited. And then there's heavy detective workloads. And finally, time, because as years pass, memories fade, witnesses disappear, evidence deteriorates, and cases become harder to solve. So what does that workload actually look like? Homicide investigations are incredibly demanding and complex. Detectives conduct interviews, they review surveillance footage, they analyze DNA evidence, they study phone records, they write reports, and eventually testify in court. And many homicide detectives handle dozens of active investigations simultaneously. And then resources are stretched, cases take longer, leads grow cold, and justice is delayed. And unfortunately, that's just a fact of reality given staffing situations within law enforcement. So, what can be done? What solutions can actually make a difference? Researchers and law enforcement experts point to several key solutions. Hiring and retaining more detectives, of course. Smaller caseloads mean more attention to each investigation, particularly those that are very complex. Investing in technology, DNA testing, genetic genealogy, digital forensics tools, these tools that are solving cases that were once considered very impossible. Then there's building trust between communities and police, because witnesses are often the key to solving crimes. And then there's improving investigative systems and evidence management. And finally, long-term murders require sustained investment, experienced investigators, and resources that don't disappear after the headlines fade. The goal is simple. Every case solved, every victim deserves justice. And despite all the challenges we've discussed today, there is reason for hope. Homicide clearance rates are improving. We've just saw that in the numbers. Cold case units are reopening investigations. DNA technology is identifying suspects decades after crimes were committed. Families that waited 20, 30, even 40 years are finally getting answers. So justice may be delayed, but sometimes justice still arrives. So today we've learned that America has more than 250,000 unsolved murders. Thousands more are added to that list every year. 5 states account for some of the nation's largest backlogs. The reasons are complex, but researchers agree that witnesses, resources, technology, and time all matter, because behind every statistic, there is a victim, a family, and a story waiting for justice. This is Crime Stats Daily. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.